Hello, Linda from Curtin Creative Gallery singing. Sure. I wish I could still sing. My voice is no longer mine. Um, Reading chapter 15 of The Spending of a Life's Breath. The first book of a 3-book trilogy. We're on chapter 15, titled Dig Down Deep, where we have her pleading again. Roger, please open your eyes. Please listen to me and understand. Dig down deep inside yourself and think about this. I can't keep it in. The first week after you left, when Marcelena called me that following Wednesday to say you were coming back home to me, why do you think it was Marcelena that had to be the one to call me to say you were coming home? And why would she then tell me to call you? Shouldn't you have been the one to call me? Why would she have to be in the middle of us? We never in 30 years needed anyone in the middle of us. And suddenly here she was making plans like she owned you and calling me to tell me to call you like she ran us and had to be the one to tell me you were coming back home, but you no longer loved me like that, so give you time. It makes no sense at all to me. It was as if she owned you and it had to go through her, and for her to tell me what to do, get rid of the older children and do this and do that. And then she says, now call your husband, like she was the power over everything, like she was saying threateningly, here, make up or break up and get it over with. If I weren't so afraid you were never coming home at that time, I would have set her straight right then. I wanted to punch her in the nose, and if we weren't on the phone to each other, I might have been even thought of doing. I've never punched anyone in my life, but this time I might have. But I could certainly tell she had power over the situation. I just couldn't understand how she had gotten that strong a hold on you behind my back. And for her to warn me and threaten me and tell me how you told her that I said I didn't love you or our whole marriage, like you were the one who lived a loveless marriage on my part, and her wanting me in a controlling tone about it like it was a fact, and then acting like the generous God given me permission to call you when she was all finished, sticking it to me and enjoying it. You would think if you were ready to come home, you would have left me. Excuse me. You would think if you were ready to come home, you would have called me to tell me about it yourself, or just surprised me by coming home. Not have her call me, allowing her to tell me off, threaten me, demand I get rid of our children, and tell me you don't love me and haven't for a long time. And it's my fault, like she not only owns you, but you have allowed her to have power over us all. Then it was like she was giving us permission to go ahead and try to get back together, but it was like she didn't really mean it. She was manipulating the situation. She said, remember now, he hasn't loved you for years. For a year. Just what does that mean? You haven't loved me since my accident? I had to recover from too many injuries. Did you and Marcelena use me to keep Philip out of the way so you both could hatch this plan. I'm not good enough for you now that I've been broken up from the accident and she wants to replace me. Is this why you spent all your time helping her out all year? She says, I will have to be very patient with you because it's going to take a long while to build our relationship up to a point where you might love me again, if ever, she spoke. What pleasure it must have given her to say those things to me. My God, what business was it of hers? She had a nerve and was overstepping her bounds. Or was she, Roger? What have you been up to? I thought, and then suddenly I was afraid, and the truth about what must have been going on and for how long came crashing down on me. How could she believe she had the right to tell me off like this and try to cause me pain unless I didn't want to think about it? Panic set into my bones. She was trying to instigate, aggravate, and create hard feelings between us by saying something as mean as that. She hoped it would come to a fight between us. She knew full well what she was doing. She felt she was in control, and it certainly looked like it. If she wasn't, she was close to it. I began to think, Roger, how could you be so weak? She might as well have said, ha, ha, Mandy, you're too late. He's mine. If you snooze, you lose. While you were down and out trying to recover from your accident, I was digging my claws down deep into your husband's skin, proving the trust you had in him was wrong and he's weak, not the man you thought he was. And it's too late for you to do anything about it. Without having to say it, she was letting me know she had her claws into my husband deep and could control him like a puppet now. Yes, what did I do with that? Excuse me. How am I going to find my spot? Without having to say it, she was letting me know she had her claws into my husband deep and could control him like a puppet now. She, in her own mean way, was telling me, Mandy, I'm sending him home to you today. It was Wednesday, but just to prove my point, then I'm going to snap my fingers and he's going to run back to me. You just wait and see. And the reality of what had been happening behind my back came rushing in. I was scared about how close I was to losing my husband once again, although this time not to death from his heart failing health wise, but still it was a type of heart attack just the same. I knew now very clearly that she was not only going after my husband, but already had her claws sunk deep. Oh, how stupid I had been. How long had I believed her claim that he was like a brother to her? She called so often to beg help from her dear so-called brother, Roger, always thanking me for letting him go and help her, and telling me how lucky I was to have such a husband and how much she could see he loved me. All this, and she was out sneakily setting things in place to destroy our marriage. I didn't fall for it. I did not fight with Roger when he came home, and I tried to welcome my husband home yet warmly when he came back on Wednesday. And I was so afraid of what was happening to us, I became a different person, trying to get him to want to stay. I put notes in his lunch in his pockets like a schoolgirl, showing him with love and attention and gushing with appreciation for his coming back home. I guess I was acting desperate. So, along with those notes, this part was a note to Roger just in my self journal notes, not given to him. Marcelena told me you didn't love me anymore. I knew she was wrong. She said I would have to wait a long time before you could show me love. It would have to grow and it would be slow. I knew she was wrong. But why did she think this? What have you been saying to her, Roger? Another note. Thank you, honey, for coming back to me, and our special love rekindled a very youthful love. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip a couple of notes. You can always go back and read them. All right, I'll give you this one. I don't know why. Note 5. Honey, a silent man does not have to speak to his wife with his lips as if his silence is a burden. It should be his special communication. Because the if they tune into the love through God and the Holy Spirit, couples have been known for ever not to need a word if we will just stay tuned into each other. You'll want the ketchup, and I know you like ketchup on your fries, so I feel it and automatically reach out for it and hand it to you. We'll know what each is going to say or do before we say or do it. We had that once, remember? We could have it again. I remember she had seemingly sent Roger home to me, but not for long. It was just a game. She was toying with me like a cat with a mouse. But she called him that same day and every day after for one thing or another, driving me crazy, asking him if he could just stop by her house after work because she was feeling so badly about what had happened. And she and her sister made a flower arrangement for us. Or she just wanted to talk to him, or any excuse she could think of, until finally on Friday I couldn't stand it anymore and I begged him not to go see her and telling him, can't you see what she is doing? But he just got aggravated at me, saying she's going through a tough time, and he kept denying that she was after him or her. On Friday, while we were out shopping for new clothes for him, she called again, and this time I cried, don't answer it, please. Can't we have one day without her in it? But he then got mad at me, and this is when she snapped her fingers by calling him drunk and threatening suicide. And then he was gone to her forever, proving a point to me that it had obviously been going on even longer than I realized, and there was going to be nothing I could do about it. Too late, too bad, so sad. And Roger, you pretend this was all just innocent. I mean, she comes over to our house to visit so many times before you left me, pretending to be like a dear sweet sister type friend to you, as she calls it. She was telling me how lucky we are to have each other, have so much love for each other, and a wonderful family, just to throw me off track of what her intentions were. She sets me up to help her dump her husband, Philip, by putting him in my lap to keep us both busy and out of the way. Then she needs you to save her. run up and protect her from Philip, or come up and fix broken water pipes up to Ossipee, to be alone with her and to do things for her at her house, dear brother to her. Then we moved her out of the house she just shared with her husband Philip and into her new house, and you suddenly out of nowhere decide you don't love me anymore and must suddenly move in with her, and she is giving me this crap about you not loving me since last year. Remember last year when I got knocked out and you said you were afraid you were going to lose me? Oh, that's when you found you didn't love me then? So does that mean you were really hoping I was dead when I didn't wake up? I spent months in casts and suffering with vertigo and broken wrists and other problems trying to recover. That's what you didn't love me, Roger? It's when you didn't love me? Is that why I was left home alone for so many nights because dear sister Marcelena called with her emergencies, like needing you to fix her plumbing or something at her house, or protect her from her husband Philip's anger and jealousy about suspecting something going on between you two, which you denied, and I believed you? End of chapter 15. I guess that was kind of one of those repeating emotions. Next chapter is 16. So later, Gator, we'll do chapter 16 and see what's rolling. Bye-bye.